All right, so this was the worst advice I was ever given when I started in real estate. So I was told when I first got started that I should never go on an appointment unless the homeowner was ready to sign a contract within 7 days or less. And let me explain to you why this is the worst advice I was ever given and why this does not apply to probably 95% of you watching this video or are in real estate. So, number one, you see where this advice came from. You have to understand, and you've probably heard this before, there's some, big name coaches out there that talk about this strategy. But here's the thing. Number one, people start to think about selling their home. All the stats say, on average, about a year before they put that sign in the front yard. So that's number one. Number two, well, let me just stay on number one for a second. So you really want to think about, okay, if that's the case, and time's going to go by no matter what, I want to try to get in front of that person as soon as possible, because when the time comes, that is how I'm going to earn and win the listing and get the come list me calls. If I wait too long, I jeopardize losing the opportunity to another agent between now and a year from now. So that's number one. Number two, all the other statistics suggest that homeowners list their home with the first agent they meet with. So if you find out somebody wants to sell their home and you meet with them, the chances of you getting that listing is very high. Again, if you wait, you're going to lose it to the first agent they meet with. Number three, this is the most important thing. This is why it does not apply to the vast majority of the real estate agent community. And this is the piece of context that we're all missing when we hear that advice. The agents that you hear on your favorite podcast, or you might even go to an event and you hear these people on stage saying, yep, I never go on an appointment without qualifying it first. Okay, cool. Keep listening to what they say. The person on stage then asks that person, hey, break down your lead sources for us. Where do you get most of your business from? This is the piece that we're all missing. They all say, well, 70 to 80% of my business comes from past client, center of influence database. Ding, 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 ding. Now that makes a lot more sense. Well, of course, the appointments you're going to are qualified. And of course, the appointments you go to, you walk away with the contract signed 90% of the time. Now, that makes sense. The same thing that happens to you guys and myself. When we have a friend or a past client or referral who says, hey, Bob, I'm thinking about selling my house. Can you come on over so we can get the paperwork started? Well, it's very easy to get into a qualifying question, which is like, how much do you owe on the mortgage? And where are you moving to? And when would you like to be there? All the qualifying questions on the script, it makes sense to do that. And then when you go there, of course, it better be 9 out of 10. It better be 10 out of 10 if that's the people you're meeting with. And you start to say, wow, that's a really good point. If all I was meeting with were people I already had relationships with, shit, yeah, it better be 9 out of 10 times I go to an appointment where the prospect I've known for 20 years, they call me and say, hey, I want to list my house, can you come over and list it? You better get that contract signed. And when you have that conversation, you better ask them some questions that prepare you for the appointment so that you can be the professional and not lose the opportunity. That's a given. But for the vast majority of us that are still building our business, in the phase of building our business, where 70, 80, 90, probably even more actually, 95% of our business is coming from strangers, people we don't know, we have no relationships with, we're talking to for the first or second time in our entire lives. It is a statistical improbability that you are going to call somebody for the first time out of the blue, and first find somebody who you call out of the blue and they're like, yep, you hit the jackpot. We are actually looking to list our house in the next 7 days. Yeah, right. Most people, statistically, think about selling their home a year or two in advance. So it's very unlikely that you call somebody out of the blue, you're circle prospecting, and you just magically come across a homeowner who wants to sell their house this week. Okay, that's unlikely. The other thing that's super statistically almost impossible is you call the random person, they don't know you from Adam, they have no relationship with another realtor, and over the phone on the very first conversation, they tell you, yeah, absolutely, we would list the house with you today. Come on over. Super, super unlikely. The agents that are saying that, again, to reiterate, to make sure that we're on the same page, well, really, to make sure I'm communicating this clearly, the people that are saying that, it happens to me all the time. 70, 80, 90% of their appointments they're going on, you guys, are coming from people they have already done business with, or were referred by somebody that they have already done business with you before. So yes, that conversation in that context is completely different than you calling a random homeowner out of the blue, being able to catch somebody where they're 7 days from listing a house, being able to set that appointment on the very first phone call, you qualify and say, cool, if you like what I have to say, will you list your house with me today? And they say, absolutely. You go on the appointment, first appointment, and come out of there with a contract signed. It's just not reasonable. And that advice is killing people. I just interviewed an agent that I coach. Literally, you could go watch this yesterday, the day before on my YouTube channel. He took that advice like me, and the other problem, I don't know if I'm on number 3 or 4, but the other problem with that advice is this. It's like a needle in the haystack. To find a homeowner that fits these circumstances, so it requires an agent to have 50, 60, 70, 80 conversations a day to maybe find one of these. And the problem, as you know, how likely is it that you're gonna have 50, 60, 70 conversations every single day to find one of these? It's very, very unlikely. So when I interviewed this agent that I'm coaching, he was using this exact same model that I was using when I first started. He's like, dude, I was doing 250 conversations every week, 1,000 a month, and I would get one listing a month. I switched the model to focus on just getting in front of the homeowner when they have motivation to sell, and now I'm taking 4 listings a week, and I'm only having 15 to 20 conversations a day. He's taking a listing for every 30 conversations because he's meeting with more sellers. And the last thing is, here's the other thing. Nothing is as it seems. Prospects aren't going to tell you the truth over the phone. Everything changes when you get face to face. So when you get in front of a homeowner, now they start to open up. Now they start to tell you their real motivation. Now they start to tell you the truth. Now they feel more comfortable with you. So you're going to find out a lot more at an appointment than you're ever going to find out over the phone. Prospects don't owe us anything. They're not going to open up and just tell you the truth on some random phone call. And if you disagree, put it in the comments. I know the haters are out there. I get it on every video. So if you guys are like, no way, Brandon, you're totally wrong. I can just call random people for the very first time. I have zero relationship, and I can get them over the phone to tell me on the very first conversation that they will absolutely list the home with me the same day I call them one time. Bullshit. Because here's the other thing. People that follow this advice, that are succeeding with the advice, they also say, here's the other piece of context, Sorry, I'm all over the place with this video. It's just been on my mind and it's just hurting so many agents. 80 to 90% of the appointments they go on come through what? Lead follow-up. So, okay, cool. I can buy into the fact that you've been following up with this person for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and now you are in some type of rapport. I could see that appointment you going on at one time and getting a contract for sure. Happens all the time. But the advice isn't follow up for months. The advice is if you talk to somebody and they're not ready to sign a contract in 7 days, throw away the lead. Not don't meet with them, just throw it away. Don't even follow up, don't even put it in your database. It is complete crap. It's complete crap. It just doesn't happen that way in real life. In theory, sure, yeah, that might work, but in real life, it's just not the reality, and every agent will tell you the same thing. So I'm sure this is gonna make some of you mad. I don't know why, it's just the truth. Rather than focusing on over qualifying or looking for reasons on why you shouldn't go on an appointment, what has served me and what has served the agents that I coach at a much higher level with much better results is don't worry about qualifying the homeowner. If you talk to somebody over the phone and they say, yeah, we're looking to move, we're looking to sell the home in X time frame, just set the appointment. There is no downside. You would be better off going to see more people face to face than sitting there in your office making 50, 60, 80 contacts a day, which, if we're being honest, you're never gonna do that anyway. So you wouldn't get on enough appointments to get the amount of listings you need. You'd be a lot better off going to see more homeowners face to face, because all of you tell me the same thing. Brandon, when I get face to face with a homeowner, I do just fine. It's over the phone that causes me all the problems. I know. So when you find a homeowner that says, hey dude, yeah, we're looking to move, just stop and set the appointment. Go have a conversation with them at their home, face to face, and focus on the appointment. And I think what you're gonna find is that you find yourself in a lot more listing opportunities than you are right now trying to list properties over the phone. I'll see you guys tomorrow.